Okay, good morning everybody. Thank you again for coming and to the fourth episode of Voice of Silence. Before we begin, a short story, chotu sa from my life. So this was about, I think, 25 odd years ago when I just joined college. I was 17 and the college that I come from is notorious for ragging. It's come in the newspapers also a lot of times. So first, basically the architecture college. And first year of college, I was 17 and I had no idea about architecture. I got into it. But ragging itna bura hota tha. There were 5 years of college and the fifth year student, one of the fifth year students, ragging raat ko chalta tha 2-3 baje tak. And she asked me that some XYZ building somewhere in Spain, who has built it, who has designed it. And we were supposed to call them ma'am and sir. So I said, ma'am, I don't know, I have no idea. She's like, you go, and then there was a collective in the room where we were being ragged, you know. So that itself can make you a little, कि एक तो आपके peers भी मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं, seniors भी मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं. So that was happening, and then she said, seriously, what's your name? Facce बुलाते थे. So, Facce, what's your name? I said, I'm Kanika, okay. Kanika, here's the thing. You're not going to do well in this college. That was number one. In fact, you're going to fail. I said, okay. And then, not only this, आपको ये नहीं पता है कि who designed this building, you are also going to fail at a lot of things in life. This was told to me in the first 1 month or second month of joining college, and it left such a solid impact in my head that वो आज तक I'm trying to kind of remove it. The point of telling this to all of you is, why is this related with Voice of Silence, is, let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say after she said that to me, I went to somebody, maybe my peer or a senior, and I told them, I'm feeling very bad, this just happened. It's a possibility that the senior would have told me, अरे वो, actually yeah, that's how we talk, तुम्हारा band बजाएंगे हम, we will like jakdo you like that so that you become stronger, don't take it personally. Then maybe I wouldn't have taken it personally. That's one, that could have been one, the first choice or the first outcome. The second could have been that I went to a peer and they would have said, hey, relax yaar, don't worry about it, वो मजाक कर रही है, and yeah, it's not nice, नहीं अच्छा लगा होगा तुमको. Share the suffering. But I didn't do anything. I cried, I took it to heart, and here I am 25 years later, still remembering the incident and still sometimes feeling, am I failing? Because some random chick said something to me 25 years ago. Now, the point of why I'm saying this is, that's why we are here, for the voice of silence. Basically, when you suffer in silence, it has unimaginable effects on everybody. So the idea of Voice of Silence is that जिसकी जो भी story है, जो सबकी है stories, let's just share them and feel a little lighter, because suffering is of two types. One that is going to happen to you anyhow, and one which is totally avoidable. So the avoidable ones are the ones for which I'm here, and why the Voice of Silence. With that, we will welcome our fourth speaker, Bharti Gupta. Let's give her a big hand, everybody. She honestly needs no introduction, still I have to do this. So she's a singer, and what a beautiful one at that. If you watch her YouTube videos, oh my god, you get goosebumps, okay? It's like that. Most of you have heard her on screen. She was the finalist of Indian Idol, and that's not all. There is a lot more to her, which she will say. But welcome, Bharti, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Kanika, for having me. I'm just overwhelmed right now.
So, Bharti, before we begin, if you can just look at the camera and let's begin with something that you want to say to the world, like a strong message.
I think I would say that never stop believing. I think if you believe in that, say that belief can actually move mountains, and like a child believes in Chanda Mama, so I'm also like that child. And I just want to say that believe in miracles, because it do happen.
Thank you. So Bharti says believe in miracles because they can move mountains, and well, she is a personification of that, and which we'll know very soon. And of course, professionally to hai personification, but we are going to soon unravel why, as a human being, she is the personification of what she just said, but we'll circle back to that towards the end. Let's begin on the journey. So, Bharti, talk about, first of all, singing. I mean, that's something, ek to na mera personal thoda issue hai life mein. I can't sing. Okay. So, anyways, I'm like a big fan. But beyond that, tell us about your story. Yeah, that where did it start, and when did you start singing? How did that go? Like, how did you reach your journey?
I think I'm not that very fortunate child who had this opportunity to learn singing since childhood. I was very, very shy. I am. And but I don't know. I remember I was in my college and I saw this girl performing on stage, and my friends were aware that I sing, but nobody in my family was aware that I sing. I was so shy. I used to sing in closed doors.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody was aware that I sing, that I have a voice or something like that. I'm the first singer of my family, like, you know. So nobody in my family sings, nobody's from that background. So, yeah, and I remember that I saw her on stage, and
This is in college, you
yeah,
said?
this was in college, and she was performing, and everybody was hooting for her, and I saw the love, you know, the kind of love that she was getting, and I was like, this is so amazing. Like, we don't know this person, we don't know this girl, but we just want her to do well in life, you know. We are loving her, we are blessing her, and I realized the power of stage, that somebody who is on stage is always look up to, and I'm somebody who loves stage, but at the same time petrified also.
Okay.
So I realized that I should start learning. So I started pretty late in my life. I think I was 19 or 20 years old. I started learning music, and when I started learning it, I realized that, oh my god, this is something very, very intense and deep. And I don't know, after some time, my Guruji, he told me that, Bharti, you can do well, okay? You can actually do well in music, but you have to practice. And if you practice, you'll do well, you know. That's what he told me. And I was like, oh, I just took him like, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता or something. Because I didn't believe in myself. मुझे लगता था कि संगीत वही होता है जो बच्चे बचपन से सीखते हैं. मैं ऐसा मानती थी कि बचपन से जिनको गायकी आती है, and you know. So, but I started learning, and then slowly and steadily I realized that this is something what my calling is. I worked for 4 years in MNCs, multinational companies, and
Achha.
yes.
How did that happen?
After college, I was like, I mean, one of my friends, you know, she was like, you know, let's just start earning money, and I was like, so. I was like, okay, right, fine. We just went for an interview, and
This was here in Delhi?
yeah, I was in Delhi. I'm a throughout Delhi, I
Full
yeah.
Delhi
full
product.
Delhi, right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we started working, and ऐसे चलता रहा 4 साल तक. 4 years I worked, but I realized in that 4 year span I was simultaneously learning music also. So but I realized that this place is not the place that I really want to be. I don't know how, I believe everybody is working. So internal job posting, IGPs, promotions, interviews, so many things happen in office. I was never interested in that. I remember one day there was this thing that the office is forming a band, you know, and my friends told me, Bharti, you should go and audition. And I just ran, I auditioned, I got through, and we started singing in floors, you know. And I enjoyed that. So after 4 years, I decided that I think I should quit my job. And even my Guruji helped me. He was like, I think this is not the place. And somewhere it was from inside also, because ऐसा नहीं है that I come from a very wealthier background and I can leave my job and start focusing on music. It wasn't like that. It was very, very personal thing. I left my job, and it was a gap of 1 year. I was just learning. I wasn't aware how to work towards it. Then after a year, I started teaching in a school. Music, yeah. So I did it for a year, and initially I enjoyed it because it was all music in the beginning. बच्चों को सिखाना और मुझे अच्छा लगता था. But then later on it again became a lot about school, not about music.
हाँ, it loses the flavor, like जिस काम के लिए हो उधर, उससे it becomes peripheral.
And then my mind was so occupied with just school things, you know. And somewhere I realized that this is also not what I want to do. I mean, this is me. I'm teaching music. Okay, this I'm like मैं सिखा भी रही हूँ, मैं खुद सीख भी रही हूँ, but there's something lacking. I think this is what I do not want to do. And I've been raised by my grandmother, so I told her once, I was like, I want to leave this. So she was like, शादी कौन करेगा, तुम स्कूल की जॉब छोड़ दोगे. So और मैंने उनको बताया नहीं. I just
अच्छा
हाँ, I didn't tell her.
सुमड़ी में जाके right से
I just went to my principal. I just get and that point in time मेरे पास कुछ plan B भी नहीं था, nothing. And before that also I used to give a lot of auditions, like local auditions, and I failed so much during auditions. Never been through. Like I remember going on stage and then coming back, not getting selected, just waiting and looking at the winners and just listening to them, like how they actually sing, you know, like how they actually handle the stage. What's so different about them and me?
Why they're there? Here's a question. So, and honestly answer, okay?
Yeah,
At least that's what I feel. आप गए audition के लिए and you did not get selected.
Yeah.
Just run me through the emotions. Like पहले तो गंदा नहीं लगता है कि वो क्या है, अभी भी नहीं हुआ. Did you feel that, or was it straight that I'm going to learn and doesn't matter, I may get rejected initially, but I'm going to learn and come? Like, which was the first emotion?
I think with me, I'm always aware. Like I don't know, like कई बार अगर मैं अपना like you say ना, like अगर आप अपना 100% दो तो आपको दुख नहीं होता. So I realized that I'm not complete into my form, you know, as a singer, as an artist also. एक form होता है एक artist का. So I realized that I think I'm learning, because I could see the difference between the people who are getting selected
and yourself.
And yeah. So I was never bitter about it, seriously, and that's true.
Yes, that's absolutely believable.
I was never bitter about it. Why not me? But I was always contemplating this fact that how can I be there, you know? So I remember talking to my best friend. I was like, it didn't happen, and she's like, it's okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
keep at it.
Yeah, and एक audition होता है. I don't know how many people are aware. संगम कला, and it's पूरे दिल्ली में होता है. And सोनू निगम, सुनील चौहान, they all have won in their initial years. So I tried for this audition, although it's a local audition. I tried for this audition thrice, never got through. And then when I was just working on myself, and one day, obviously auditions were happening, I went, and I was not talking to anybody because I wanted to be focused and all. Or by the end of the night, my turn came. I went on stage, I sang, and that day, judges actually asked, who are you? I was like, okay, I got through. Only 4 singers got selected out of so many singers, and I was one of them. I immediately went outside. I called my brother. I was like, you know, I actually got through, and this happened. Judges were actually noticing me. So I think these small things actually gave me this hope. And Voice India was my first reality show, and I got through, got selected among 100 singers all over India.
This was which year?
This was 2015.
Okay. The Voice was in 2015?
Yeah, 2015. And I went there, I sang, and I couldn't got through. I mean, I couldn't get through the main audition, but I sang in front of my idol. I love Sunidhi Chauhan. She came on stage, she sang with me, and she said, "You're so petite, how can you sing like that?" So I just took all these things with me, though I cried buckets after that because I was very upset. I was like, oh, why it didn't happen? And then I was actually sad for a lot of time. I mean, काफ़ी लंबे समय तक मैं उदास रही. फिर उसके बाद I think in 2016 I decided I want to go to Bombay, and I decided this, but this very filmy thing happened. I don't know how many of you can believe this. And at that moment I decided कि अब मैं कोई audition नहीं दूँगी. I'll straight away go to Bombay. But then this ad was coming and Sonu Nigam was there and Indian Idol auditions are happening. I looked at my brother. I was like, I think एक बार audition मैं दे दूँ क्या? So he was like, you just said that you don't want to give auditions anymore. And I was like, I don't know, I'm just feeling like, let's just, you know, कर लेते हैं, हाँ, कौन सा होता है, हाँ. And that was the moment I went for the auditions, and I got through, and I mean, I was like, and that moment when I got through, I was like, I think I'm prepared for it. I was not very.
So that feeling initially जो था, that
yeah,
I'm not prepared. That
yeah, absolutely.
Came.
I was not feeling like, oh my god, I was like, okay, this should have happened, you know. Ab theek hai. I think I can take this. So
That's such a beautiful journey.
yeah, that's
such
how
a-
it happened.
I completely relate with it. You know, that artist's thing, and even not getting bitter.
Yeah, yeah.
I always maintain this, that artists as people
Mhm.
don't have bitterness. Like, they just want to go on, like, you know, oh, okay, ye kaise karna hai. So thank you for sharing that. So that was the professional side of things. I'm sure reaching the place that you did, and that is quite the place. I mean, it's not easy getting into Indian Idol, and we've all seen that, we've all witnessed it.
You're being very kind.
No, it's a fact. Everybody will agree here. It's not just me. But and yes, you seem to be a very brave and a determined person. My question to you is, where does that come from? Yes, people are born also with certain qualities, but you seem like the human being who wants to learn, keep learning. And learning, I feel, always comes from curiosity, and also sometimes from a place of, I think I'm lacking here. I need to learn.
Yeah.
If and correct me if I'm wrong, if that may not be the case with you. So I'm going to ask you now about your background in terms of your parents and, you know, your family members and all the support that you got घर पर. घर पे क्या scene था?
Ghar par it's little different. My, like, if I don't know how many people have watched my audition, but if you have the main part is like, my parents, they cannot speak and they cannot hear. So since childhood, I've been exposed to this world of people where I'm pretty comfortable with, you know. Like, my dad is extremely creative, so he used to, वो हमें लेकर जाते थे, you know. So I know all the sign language. My dad just helped me with that. So because of my parents, because they couldn't help us with teaching and all, so my grandparents, they took this responsibility.
Grandparents who mean Nana
My
Nani or
my
Dada
Nana
Dadi?
ji and Nani Ma. So they took this responsibility that they'll took our educational responsibility. So जैसे बच्चे बचपन में नानी के पास जाते हैं तो हम बचपन में दादी के पास जाते थे, because we used to stay with our नानी माँ. तो जब छुट्टी होती थी तो हम अपने पापा के पास, पापा मम्मी के पास जाते थे. So that's how it was. So it was like this.
तो आप नाना नानी के पास रह के हम गर्मियों की छुट्टी में अपने मम्मी पापा से मिलने जाएंगे. See, that's something very interesting.
That's how it was.
Such,
right.
it's very sweet. It still is very sweet. It's different, but it's very sweet. It's nice to know that ऐसा भी होता है.
Yeah, that's how it was for us. I mean, I never felt different about this. I was like, okay, like we are going, and पापा आते थे मिलने के लिए, so we were excited जब छुट्टियाँ हैं तो हम पापा मम्मी के पास जा रहे हैं, like that. So I think that the things that you're talking about, like determination and you know, like learning things, I think it has a lot to do with my grandma, my nani ma, and my dad, because even my nani ma has taken a lot of pain. You know, she stayed away from her children and she raised us, two brats. I was not a nice kid at all.
Two brats would mean you and
my younger brother.
younger brother.
Yeah. So I was like very bad child. Throwing this, I mean, I don't know, I should not say this, but yeah, I was bad. So, but she actually took care of us, and then my dad. My dad was always there. I mean, I think I remember this thing when Idol happened, and I was very, because it was a very overwhelming journey for me during Idol. I've never sung in front of my parents.
You've never sung in front of them?
No. Because, of course, I mean, when I decided this thing that, okay, this is the thing that I want to take professionally, it just happened. It was a very organic decision that I made. And somewhere it was from the heart. I never realized that I'm doing this without knowing the fact that, oh, my parents will never know my profession. You know, they'll never know how I sound. So,
no, I have a question here. So you said that college mein is when you started to you decided that this is going to be my profession.
No. College mein I started learning.
You started learning?
Yeah. Okay. I decided pretty later on
that this is
yeah.
I'm sorry, I stand
No,
corrected.
that's okay.
But so whenever you decided that this is going to be my profession, And considering that आप नानी के साथ थे, but then you were with your dad and he's been a major influence in your life, what made you not share it with him? Like, क्या था वो? What was it that like they didn't know initially, right?
No, actually, I remember, and my brother is also a musician actually. So he's an engineer by education and everything. But he also left. We both, we did our education, then we left everything, and we started pursuing music. So I remember when जब आप म्यूज़िक सीखते हैं तो बहुत रियाज की ज़रूरत होती है, प्रैक्टिस की ज़रूरत होती है. So I remember when we start, अभी भी हम जब प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, so now my parents are very very okay. So हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, so we have 2 rooms and all. So initially I started learning. So when I started learning, so I used to practice in a closed door, and when my parents used to come and they peeked like this, and I'm like, I'm just in my sign language, I used to tell them I'm practicing. And because my dad is pretty creative, and even my mom, I used to tell them that मैं practice कर रही हूँ, गाना गा रही हूँ, So because उन्होंने TV में देखा है, they know these are the singers, ऐसे होता है. Maybe they are not aware about the sound, but they know that this is a thing. Okay. So my thing was that because I have chosen this profession, but this will be my profession throughout. So of course, when like sometimes I feel that if I would have chosen to be an actor, my dad is from theatre, so it would have been nice, because my dad, I have watched a lot of movies with my dad on mute because he's watching it. I never used to raise the volume and I used to watch it with him. That's how it is, So मैं कभी ऐसे सोचती थी कि काश मैं एक एक्टर बनने का सोचती, पर मैंने सोचा एक सिंगर बनने का. So but I think it was never that decision that I took it, like sometimes it just happened. I don't know how it happened, it just
and that's what I wrote in your intro also, that it's a paradox, it's a life of paradox, and what an interesting one at that. And I feel it's only very beautiful, like there's no other sense, it's just very beautiful. But मेरे को एक चीज़ like क्या कभी that moment, did it ever enter your mind that क्या है, what is this? Why? And did you ever feel like when The Voice happened, The Voice में, did your parents know that you had audition?
My dad went with me and my Masi went with me. And in Idol, throughout, my dad was there with me.
That we knew, that we are aware of. Yeah. When was the first time that you told your dad and your mom that I'm a singer? And what happened then? क्या था? Would you like to share that, number one, if you're comfortable? If you're not, we can absolutely cross it. Did that happen? And you and your brother both?
I think it was, like I said, my dad is very, very creative, and my mom is so naive that she never interferes. She's like...
So pura freedom is there, like to do whatever?
यहाँ पे मुझे freedom, मतलब कि my dad never questions me like that. Okay. Because he himself is from creative. Since childhood I've seen my dad on stage. He is a magician. He learned it a hard way. And उन्होंने पूरा गुरु शिष्य परंपरा से उन्होंने magic सीखा. और I mean, I think I somewhere have this faith कि me and my brother both are into this field. I think we are, even if a inch of in creative, it's because of our dad. Otherwise मुझे नहीं लगता, because I really don't think, I still feel that I have a long way to go. But when I look at him, I mean, he tells me, जब उनको ये पता भी लग गया कि this is what we are doing, we started doing shows and all. So he was, एक बार उन्होंने मुझे कह दिया, इतना मेहनत तो तुम नहीं करते, मैंने बहुत मेहनत की. इतना तुम क्या सिंगिंग में इतना प्रैक्टिस, बस मैंने मैजिक में इतना प्रैक्टिस किया. Like, no, मेहनत इसको कहते हैं, साइन लैंग्वेज, this is what we call. So I was like, Dad, please, it's time has changed. So,
and tell me something, it's a very spiritual question. उनको सुनता तो है ना, सुनता तो है. Like your dad, when you're singing, I'm certain, like, and tell me, confirm this, both your parents, they must be listening somewhere, no? Like, कहीं ना कहीं तो उनको vibration या आता हो, like they would know how they can think how you must be sounding, or forget the sound, the feeling. Have they ever expressed that to you, that, wow, like, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, when Idol happened, I remember when Idol happened, that was I'm a very, very private person, first of all. I don't know how many of you believe this, but yeah. And when Idol happened, and I got through the auditions, and they asked me about my family background and everything, and I shared. And they were like, why don't you get your dad along? I was like, no, I will not. And they were like, Bharti, you should. I was like, see, I don't sing in front of him. That's not, this is not what I do. I go to auditions, this is my struggle. I don't do that. So, but they convinced me. They were like, Bharti, see, it would be inspiring, and they convinced me somehow. And I remember I went, and this is my first biggest audition. I just went one day, before. I told my dad, see, they're calling you. This is this thing that comes on TV, and will you come along with me? We have to leave in the morning at 7. He's like, okay. He didn't even ask me. I was like, okay, fine. We went, and audition happened. I remember I was going through the audition, and it was actually happening, and Sonu Nigam suddenly said, call your dad. And I was so scared. I was like, please don't reject me in front of him. Please, just reject me. If you want to reject me, just reject me right now. I don't want him to be disheartened. Don't do that. But he asked, ki Papa ko bulao, and I went outside. I was like, Daddy, he's calling. And he went. And things happened in a different way. I got through, and I was very emotional. And that was my dad talking to Sonu Nigam for the very first time. And Sonu Nigam asked my dad, what do you think? Is she good? So my dad said, I don't know. You are the judge. Why are you asking me? I'm like, okay.
Such a rock star.
Yeah, he is. Like,
yeah, rock star.
I was literally crying. I was like, actually, he's asking you, sir. He's telling you. So he was like, I understood, Bharti. I was so overwhelmed. I realized that, I think, and during auditions, people used to ask me like, how you feel, and your parents cannot listen to you, and don't you think, like you said, that they must be listening to you from the heart? I mean, I think if you go by spiritual way, or it can only happen in a spiritual way,
yes.
Right? But I somewhere feel I never ask this question to them like that, because I really think, I feel that this is insensitive from my side, that I should go and ask him, Daddy, I remember one incident which had a really profound impact on me. I remember when I was in the school, I performed, and I got so much of love that it was so overwhelming for me. I went, straight away to my home, and my dad was sleeping. So I was so excited, like a child. बच्चा हमेशा share करना चाहता है कि पापा ये हुआ या मम्मा ये हुआ. So he was sleeping, and I just woke him up. Daddy, listen. He just looked at me like, what? I was like, I sang today, and it was so nice. Everybody loved me, and I was on and on and on. And he looked at me, and I was just still looking at me, and he looked at me. He was like, okay. He smiled, and he patted me on my back, and he slept again. I went off to sleep again, and that was the moment I realized, oh my God, he doesn't know how I sound. And I'm just telling him, blabbering him, that people loved me, they loved my voice, and I was like, that's so. And I remember a lot of the times when I won the auditions, I'm coming with the momentums or something. It was so quiet at home. I used to come, okay, this happened, showed it to Daddy, put it there, that's it, khatam. No celebration, nothing, because I know it's not a very nice way to do that, but it was so normal, because even my dad has won so many competitions and all, so it was pretty okay. क्योंकि शायद अगर ये हो सकता है, अगर उन्हें पता होता या वो सुन सकते होते, so it would have been something more, so it was pretty okay. Yeah, it was ठीक है, हम ये कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसा कुछ नहीं. But yeah, if you talk about like मैं खुद जाके पूछूं, I will. In fact, Idol में भी मुझसे they asked me that, why don't you ask your dad? Why don't you ask your dad? I said, I will never do that. Okay, because why will I make him feel something like, I know since childhood, कि daddy, how you feel that I sing. I know that. He cannot listen to me. Although वो मुझे बहुत अच्छे से support करते हैं. Throughout the Idol, he was my biggest support. I was crying. I was like nervous. He was like sitting there, why don't you sing properly? What are you doing? Why are you crying like this? You're just wasting this moment. I looked at him, I was like, okay, dad, okay. I think you are so much cool with so many cameras. I'm not. So, like that, I mean.
So, we keep in front of our parents. We are always kids, and especially in our 20s. And let's face it, yeah, not everybody is going to get that kind of fame and that kind of success. It is like a very high level of success, and it's an achievement. And when you said that, I went and told him, "Chalo, idol bhi nahi, koi aur incident tha." When I went and told him, ye obviously have happened over time, a few times, and then you got used to that. Okay, fine. You know what? It's cool.
Yeah.
Is that something you tell yourself? And there is a little child in you which wants that. Yes, Bharti. And again, I'm saying, I'm not asking you to hurt you. Please, I'm trying to understand. Please, okay, know that. Please.
No.
So, if it feels that I don't want to discuss, you don't have to. But does that make you feel a little like, or do you share it with your brother? Like थोड़ा alone feeling आता है, या आपका भाई के साथ now you like चल हम दोनों party करेंगे. We both are singers, हम दोनों एक दूसरे को करेंगे. And mom dad are anyways like they are cherishing and applauding and feeling. How do you think in that space? What is the feeling there?
I think it's just the way I've been brought up. Since childhood, I've seen so many things that I, as a person, if you talk about like, although me and my brother, we both are into this profession, but our thinkings are like poles apart.
That happens.
Yeah. So I somewhere feel that I'm a voiceover artist also. I don't know. So I somewhere feel that I remember when I took this decision also that because in Bombay it's so difficult, that sometimes you don't have money at all. So I just decided I should start doing voiceovers, and I started doing it. And at that moment it hit me, oh my god, even my speaking voice is also, helping me. And so I think for me personally, I think I'm very grateful, and I take singing and my voice on a very spiritual level. I really am not into this competition and everything that, oh my god, I sing better than you and this and that, because singers have a lot of ego problems. I don't know how many people are aware, but they do. And but for me, I think I'm just happy that I can sing. I'm just so happy. I know the importance of sound. I know the importance. I remember when I used to listen to कोई ऐसा गाना जो मुझे दिल को इतना छूता था और मुझे मेरा पूरा आई थिंक चेंज ही कर देता था मेरा पूरा दिमाग. And I used to feel that, oh my god, I can actually have this feeling, because I don't know how many of you feel that, but I felt it very closely, that because I know my parents will never know that. So वो इसलिए मैंने कभी इस तरीके से मैं बहुत ज़्यादा गहराई में सोचती तो मुझे बहुत वो अलग सी वो जोन आ जाता है. So कई बार आप कुछ zones में नहीं जाना चाहते, because sometimes it's so difficult to unravel all stuff. And
then again pull yourself out.
Yeah. So there are things which is very sensitive. There are things that is okay. Like even my friend says that Bharti, he enjoys you, he listens to you, but your parents enjoy that. I was like, yeah, but maybe the child in me says, what if he could have, But I think शायद अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो शायद मैं ऐसा भी नहीं सोचती. I would have been a different person altogether.
Yes.
I would have been a different singer altogether.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So I think मैं अपनी तरफ से शायद अभी कहीं भी पहुँचूँ. अभी I think I have a long way to go. मैं किधर भी पहुँचूँ, कहीं भी पहुँचूँ, I don't think so मैं कभी ये कोशिश भी करूँगी पूछने की और जानने की. I think अगर कुछ भी होता है, आइडल हुआ, मेरे पेरेंट्स खुश थे. और माई डैड मे बी आई थिंक ही वॉज थिंकिंग ऑफ कि मैं शायद और आगे जाती. आई रीच टिल टॉप 12. बट आई रिमेंबर व्हेन आई वॉज एलिमिनेटेड, माई डैड वॉज डांसिंग. He was Sonu Nigam holded him. He was like, my dad was happy. He was like, just enjoyed this. You reached till there, And I was actually sobbing. I was like, no, I didn't sing well. I was really sad. I really wanted to be into the competition. That's a different feeling.
Yeah, happens. Yeah, I'm sure that.
But he was just elated. He was just happy. I remember this one person came up to me and after Idol, because then a lot of people recognize you, then she came up to me and she said, "Hey Bharti," I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "See, you sing well, huh? But I'm sorry, I'm a fan of your dad." I'm like, "That's pretty okay. I love him too. You know, I'm happy that I love him."
Yeah.
So that's the power of him. I'm there to sing. He's there to support me. He didn't say a word. He's not even in. I think the power doesn't lie in any of the senses. The power lies within you, and I've seen that in him and my grandmother. I think they're so strong as individuals, and I'm still lacking so much. So
That's so nice to hear. And the way you speak, Bharti, it is, and what you say, आवाज तो खैर है ही, but you know, what you say is just very, very inspiring. Thank you so much for just being who you are. It's amazing. So, moving on,
yeah.
let's move to the little to Bombay. Let's go to Mumbai now.
Yeah.
So now you are like, excuse me everybody, I'm finalist, I'm celebrity, I am from Indian Idol. So आपका celebrityhood started. What happened after that is what we need to know, and of course you already told me, but our audience needs to know. How easy or tough is it? Do you get support, or are you treated like any other person? And what kind of comments still come? मतलब तुम कुछ भी कर लो जिंदगी में, तब भी smart ass comments आएंगे.
Yeah.
Please share with us.
So after Idol, I decided I think before Idol also I was sure that I want to go to Bombay, and after Idol I was very, very sure, and I shifted, and staying was never a problem there. I met a friend during Idol and she was very, very warm. She said, "Bharti, you can stay with us," and so I stayed with her family, her mother, her sister, and so we were 4 women. So
You met her
during Idol, and like
That's so sweet,
very casually I asked her, and that moment I was like still thinking about this fact that whether should I move or not, because I know Bombay is Bombay, and a lot of people were telling me a lot of things. Bombay mat jao, Bombay में ऐसा भूत रहते हैं. So I like, the thing is, अगर आप मुझे जितना मना करोगे ना,
उतना तो जाऊंगी मैं.
मुझे तो जाना ही पड़ेगा.
तो जाना
मुझे
पड़ेगा.
भूत देखना है मुझे. I really want to witness that. So a lot of people said a lot of things, because obviously I'm going on my own, but staying was not a problem. I think I was fortunate enough.
That's sweet, no?
That was
offer.
Yeah, that's really,
sweet.
really kind. I stayed with them for 3 years. Like my whole stay in Bombay was with them. Yeah.
Thank you. If you are whoever you are, thank you so much. Yeah, that's really sweet. And why I'm saying it is, अब यहाँ पे तो सब हम दिल्ली में रहते हैं, and I'm not going to look here. They'll be like she's generalizing, but I doubt in this place somebody will open your doors. आ जाओ, हम बस एक शो में मिले, तुम मेरे घर आके रह सकते हो. And correct me if I'm wrong, not here, not in Delhi. I forget everybody else. I will not open. I'll be like, please. Oh yeah, bye. So I think that's a very Mumbai thing. Mumbai needs to be praised. My husband will be very happy. He's from Mumbai.
Oh.
Yeah. हमारे घर पे Mumbai Delhi wars चलते रहते हैं like that.
I'm in support of that.
Yeah. So I think that needs to be said. I mean, there are. I think वहाँ पर maybe the trust factor is a little higher. I feel.
I think because she said very sweet thing about this. I mean, and that moment she decided कि मुझे किसी को नहीं रखना है अपने साथ. But when I asked her, she just very, बहुत क्या कहते हैं ना, एकदम से कोई बोल देता. So she's like, actually, I think I really wanted to be part of your journey, Bharti. So
That
like
is
that.
so sweet.
That's what she said.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, please continue.
So I shifted, and so getting numbers in Mumbai is no difficult. I have numbers of all the big
मुझे
people.
शाहरुख खान का नंबर मिल जाएगा?
शाहरुख खान ज़्यादा है, मैं अपनी फील्ड के बारे. हाँ, but yeah, Shahrukh Khan, I'll tell you.
Yes, which is why I brought up his name.
Yeah. So I remember, I mean, Bombay is, वहाँ पे जाओ और I'm so non-social. I'm not that good with, like very smart. Okay, hey, I'm a singer and come from Delhi or Idol ye wo. So I got the numbers, and Instagram, Facebook, Messenger. I started sending my work to lot of people. And I remember one afternoon, again upset and sad, nobody is reverting. I went to another room and my phone rang and I missed that call. And then I went to my to other room. I saw there's this number, and then I called back, and that was Sukhvinder Singh. So he was like, he has very Punjabi way of saying, "Arey tum phone nahi uthati ho?" मैंने कहा, I was like, oh, who's this? I mean like, Sukhvinder बोल रहा हूँ मैं. I was like so, I mean, किसी ने reply किया, मतलब really, is it happening? And then he was like on and on, you know, he praised me, and then he said let's meet and all, and then I ended up doing shows with him. I did 3 shows with him. I shared stage with him. I learned so much from him. Oh my god, he's just so amazing as a singer, as a person. And then again I started meeting people, and then this thing happened. I met Ram Sampath, the music director. I don't know how many of you are aware. He's like
Aware, very happy.
very big composer. So I met him, and he was very kind, he was very warm. He heard me singing, and he was like, we'll work together, Bharti. I was like, okay, fine, sir. And then I got a call from his studio, and I sang this jingle, and that's it. And then again I got a call that Bharti, we need to do some corrections and all, it's on children and all. I was like, okay, fine. I went again, and then I was sitting in the studio, and this studio mein screens bhi hote, so they put it to match the sound of the. So video mein there was Shah Rukh Khan, and behind that was my voice. I looked at it, I was like, what is this happening? And very calmly I was like, is this actually my voice behind? I have to control myself. I was like, अरे ये तो अभी गाया है, ये कैसे हो रहा है? So the studio guy was sitting there. I was like, what is this, you know? So he was like, yeah, this is your jingle, na? This is the Baijo's jingle, no? So kids and Shah Rukh Khan is there, and I was like, oh really? Shah Rukh Khan, okay, big deal. And I was like straight away, you know, Shah Rukh Khan is there, you know? Oh my god! I freaked out. I was like so happy. I couldn't believe my first ever jingle, and this Shah Rukh Khan
is there in it.
Yeah, I was.
ये होता है मुंबई जाके, ये होता है नंबर होते, कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं नंबर होना, doesn't matter, but then नंबर के बाद आप वहाँ पर शाहरुख खान इस आपकी धुन पे वो मतलब
नहीं, seriously, it was unbelievable. I will not deny this fact, but I was all calm and composed in the studio because I cannot react too much. They are
yeah.
So I called my brother and my sisters, everybody, you know, so they were also very excited. And it hit millions of views, and it gave me a boost and something like, you know,
sure.
Okay, I'm on the right path, it's happening, you know, I'm meeting the right people. So I met good people, definitely. There are good people. And then you meet bad people.
Let's talk about that now.
So I was being managed by this agency approached me, and they were like, we want to manage you and all. And I was like, initially I was like little, because it was my first time that, you know, that you're being exclusively managed by somebody. In Delhi I wasn't being managed by anybody, and then I was like, okay, fine, let's just take this, let's see how it goes, you know. So this happened, and I remember in the beginning when I was signing them, I was still not very sure. I just had a word with my brother, and I was like, you know, this is happening, and you know, so my brother was like, read the contract carefully and this and that, and I was on my own. I took this, in fact, this decision was mine only because, you know, Bombay में मैं अकेली हूँ, मैं हर चीज़ के लिए मैं पूछ के नहीं कर सकती. So it was completely my decision. I was like, ठीक है, कुछ मुझे लग रहा था, but you know, one thing I learned that trust your gut feeling, you know, trust
instinct.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
वो झूठ नहीं बोलता.
Absolutely. कभी नहीं बोलता है. So my gut feeling was stopping me, but I just went because at that point in time I was like, you know, I will get work.
Oh, your gut feeling was stopping you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was stopping me because I was like, you know, मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए because there was something that I was not liking. I don't know what it was, but then I ended up signing with them. I started working with them. There were certain things that I was not liking, and then the things took some different turns. I mean, like, I went to Bombay to become a singer, you know, and I know certain fields have certain requirements. My field has different requirement, but I remember this. You know, this thing. We have to shoot a video, a music video, and then there was this, my manager, my female manager, a lot of people. There was this proper office and all. So he was discussing with me and all, you know. And usse pehle bhi, a lot of the times he used to tell me, Bharti, change yourself, you know, the way you look. Just change the way you look. I was like, okay.
What does that mean?
he was not maybe happy, you know, the way my hair is. It's like,
Did he say that? That your
yeah,
hair?
you know,
This hair?
the only thing he said that, change yourself. That's how you see in television. बदल दो खुद को. So I was like, कैसे बदलूं, मतलब क्यों बदलूं? Initially आप ऐसे ही सोचते हो. अगर मैं, if it's एक intention के साथ, जैसे माँ बच्चे को बोलती है बेटा तुम बदलो, तो वो intention अच्छी, you get that intention. But he is telling me in a very different way, change the way you look and you should look glamorous and all. See, I do wear glamorous clothes, but if I want to, if I'm not feeling glamorous, I'm not, will become glamorous because you want me to see it,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
way. So
Yeah.
what happened was that this was something that actually affected me. So yeah, this music video happened, and before that we were deciding the clothes and everything, and it was full crowded office, and he very casually he just said that Bharti, carry your things and all, and remember one thing, stuff yourself, you need to stuff yourself. I was like,
That this is in front of everybody.
Yes.
Is that something that happens too? Is that commonplace? ये चलता है ऐसे?
Bombay mein, I think, see, when the first time when he said this to me, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, see, if you really wanted to say something like that, the female manager is next to you. You could have shared it with her. She could have taken me. Why you have to make a scene out of it, Bharti? Carry your stuff. You know what I'm talking. And he was very, very
Casual.
very casual. And I remember one day I confronted him and he was like, how Priyanka Chopra and all, that's how they brainwash you. That even big people, they go through this. So I was like, I understand Priyanka Chopra and Katrina Kaif, they need to go through these things, but they are there to become heroines.
Yeah,
Actresses.
their profession is different.
Absolutely. My profession, if there's something wrong with my singing, with my, stage
Although-
presence and
although,
everything.
मुझे personal comment coming in, personal opinion, even if you're actors.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel.
Absolutely.
यार तुम acting करने आ रहे हो, even if you are a model, तो you're modeling.
Yeah.
Who is out there to stuff and do what with stuffing?
Absolutely.
Like I feel.
But
that
I'll tell you,
today.
it's that was the very first time I realized that it's
That must
so
have-
important to be comfortable in your skin. It's so important to be comfortable with your body. And that was the time when he just said it to me, and I cannot deny the fact I started stuffing myself. I mean, I cannot deny this. And for a very long period of time, I started believing that there's something, okay, I have to keep on doing this.
At this point, आपने मुझे एक sentence बोला था, and this is now important. This is the lesson number 1 that we'll take away, because you're speaking about our bodies. You had told me that Kanika, जब ये सब चल रहा था, and I started to, मुझे लगा था मुझ में ही कमी है.
Absolutely, बिल्कुल. I felt that there's something missing it with me, something in my body.
That breaking of spirit is not a good idea by anybody. So.
And my focus shifted from my voice to my body.
Yes.
I started, okay, I have to dress up like that, which is not a wrong thing. It's okay, but your whole focus shifting is wrong. So this happened. I remember I was not feeling good about it, and I just felt a bit, sometimes you feel stripped, like it's like people have started talking about your body in front of you like that. And then I at that time I didn't have the courage to say a word. I couldn't say a word. I was like, I looked at him, I couldn't say. I was furious. I remember I went back home and I was furious. I was like, how can he say this? How can he say this? But I didn't have the courage to say it to him. And that's how it happened. I kept on working with them, and my gut feeling was right. And then after a year, I had a fallout with them because things were actually not going anywhere, and I was in Bombay. I really wanted to work, and I gave my 1 year to these people, and that was the moment I remember when we were actually having a fallout and we were discussing things that it's not happening. That was the moment I said that. I told him, I was like, see, you're never gonna say anything about my body, ever. I don't come from village that I'm not aware that even if you would have been a fashion designer and you're stitching something for me, I would have understood. You're just deliberately doing that. I used the F word. I was like, never ever do that. And he was just taken aback. He was like, no, Bharti, I was, the intention was not like that. I was like, I'm not even interested in your intention. I'm just telling you, you cannot do this. You're understanding or not?
Amazing. Yeah.
That was the time.
It's very inspiring, yeah. Like to stand up and were there people there? Was he alone? What was the scene? Aapko, kyunki he said he didn't care about people.
Yeah.
Were there people when you said this back to him?
I think it was me and my manager and one of my friends who also supported him in that.
So there were people. It's not like you were having a one-on-one.
The one thing that I remember vividly that they were actually taken aback, and I couldn't believe that मैं ये पहले भी बोल सकती थी, you know. मैं ये पर मुझ में उस वक्त इतना करेज ही नहीं था. मुझे लगा शायद मुझे कुछ चीज़ों की समझ नहीं है. आई एम न्यू टू दिस प्लेस और शायद ऐसे ही होता होगा. बॉम्बे है. There are so many things.
क्योंकि वो
right है. हाँ.
So, but tell me something, and I ask this to all my speakers. Every time that we are speaking about, it's always this world works on us versus them, right? And honestly, I'm really trying in my head and in my life to कम करो that gap कि सब तो एक ही हैं. I'm sure मैंने भी बहुत smart comments मारे हैं लोगों को, not intentionally. But my question to you is, आपने when you said that to him, that you have no right to speak like that about my body, and when he was taken aback, and you being you seem like a person who understands people, you know. Was he in the habit of doing it? ये तो चलता है. Or was he intentionally targeting you as Bharti Gupta?
See, I think he was. That's a sad part, but they do it to a lot of people, you know. Because see, when you go to Bombay, you have so many dreams, you know. You are wonderful. You're naive. I have learned so much. You know, when I remember when I went to Bombay, I was a different person. I was so naive. I was not even aware of anything. And then when people tell you these things, and even the kind of singing I used to do, oh, you sound like, and see, you're not getting work because of your hair. Straighten your hair. I was like, ये तो मैं कभी नहीं करूँगी. I straight away say no. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Color your hair, do this, do that, and then obviously the body. I think they do it because they feel that they are superior and they feel that they can actually control you and they can actually make you
and
know?
Get that ego boost.
Yeah, नहीं उनको ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने करा है.
मैंने बनाया है इसको तो.
You know, this one thing I remember, I always wanted to color my hair, always. So when I went to Bombay and I was trying to work with these people, so I remember I colored my hair, and it was completely my choice. And my manager, I went up to him and, you know, everybody was praising me, and my manager said, oh, you're looking so beautiful. I told you should color your hair, you know, Bharti. I don't know what went into my head. I was like, I've always been beautiful. It's just with your eyes. It's not with the hair. So he was like, yeah, right. You know,
amazing.
I did that. I mean, I'm not boasting, but I actually did that. You know,
thank you for that, because I think चाहिए यार. A lot of us don't get the courage, or even if we do, wait. कि पता नहीं क्या होगा. And I think another takeaway actually from this last episode, the little conversational episode that we've had, is all it needs is to stand up and talk.
Absolutely.
शायद maybe मैं एक second के लिए don't get angry with me, but एक second के लिए let's look from his perspective. वो बंदे का इंसान शुरुआत से ठीक ही रहा होगा, but overall जाके वो attitude, ego, whatever, but not a bad person.
No,
like
he is a bad person. I'm telling you about him. He's a bad person. But I don't know. I mean, people are good. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But from the experience, I'm telling you, he's a bad person.
I have a few of them in my life also. Like I can't. I'm like no. But okay, imaginary. Okay. Let's say somebody else. Okay. Let's say another human being somewhere in another studio talks like this. What I'm saying is that if not only a woman, a man, it's not a feminism thing that we are doing here. You just have to stand up and say, dude, stop talking like that. Don't talk about my body. Don't talk about my looks.
Absolutely.
You know, and especially आप जिस काम के लिए उधर गए हो उसके ऊपर भी actually comments मारना be sensitive. I feel, right? Don't be like, you know, this is how it is. But body and stuff which is unrelated is something that all they need is somebody to stand up and say yeah. And you said then he backed off.
Absolutely.
That's all that is needed.
I realized कि मुझे सिर्फ इतना ही बोलना था.
And imagine आपने आगे की लड़कियों and लड़कों के लिए you paved a path. वो अभी hopefully
I hope
सोचेगा before making smart comments. If you're listening, whoever you are, if देख लो यार मेरा भी बढ़ जाएगा, देख लो यार. So if you're watching this, please don't do it again. Please, it's just not sensitive.
He's not that nice, huh? That you say don't do it again. I'll do it again. He's not that.
Okay. तो मत देखो. So okay. So that's any other comment which you just couldn't take, like ये क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पर?
I remember I was ये तो like this thing about body, and I remember I had a conversation with my friend and I was so furious. I was like, you know, कई बार क्या होता है कि Bombay is actually a difficult place, that's true. And काफ़ी कई बार आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आप इसलिए कर लो क्योंकि आपके पास काम नहीं है. बहुत लोग इसलिए भी करते हैं,
I'm sure.
you know. So I think but वही एक टाइम पीरियड होता है जब आपको शायद अपने आप को रोकना होता है और समझना होता है. So मैंने भी गलती करी है. मुझे I really feel sad that I wasted my 1 year with them, but now I feel that उससे मैंने कुछ तो सीखा ही है.
Good you did.
हाँ, absolutely. मैंने कुछ तो उससे सीखा ही है. और अब अगर कोई मुझे कुछ कहता है, so after that it took me a lot of time to work on myself and to become more confident about my body, you know, like it's okay if I'm tiny, if I'm thin, that's okay, it's their mind. So it's very easy to say अरे तुम कितने पतले हो या तुम कैसे हो और तुम कितने मोटे. Sometimes fat people think कि उनको कहते हैं and sometimes thin people think कि उनको कहते हैं. किसी को भी क्यों कहना है? I mean, I just don't get this thing. I mean, why you have to say this? See, if you want to be healthy, that's absolutely fine. There's no harm. I think what's missing, people are not compassionate. They just want to say stuff.
Yeah.
They just want to say it.
Yeah.
अरे मोटे हो गए पतले हो जाओ. अरे इतने पतले क्यों तुम मोटे हो जाओ. In fact, yesterday only there was this aunt in my neighborhood. I was going to meet my grandmother and she used to see my videos. She cannot appreciate me. She was like, तुम कितना गला चिल्ला चिल्ला के गाती हो. अरे इतना तेज तुम गाती. And she was on and on and on and on. I was like, auntie, I don't even want to talk about it.
Auntie, let it be.
Just leave it. So it never stops.
It'll not stop.
It never stops.
It will not stop. Which brings us actually to the final bit of our whole episode. Based on all of it, so just summarizing, you have shared with us when you started singing, why you started singing, your background with your parents and your nana nani, and then your experience first as a winner of a show. I will call it a winner, like getting there, winner of life, winner as a human being, and then going through some sorts of not such great moments at Mumbai, and I'm sure there'll be more to come, much more to come, even the bad ones, they're going to come. But you seem like a human being who's equipped and who's just continuously getting equipped. That love,
I'm just
love,
trying.
or love. You're that kind of a human being. What would you like to now? You first said, just keep on believing. That was your first message to the world.
Yeah.
We would like to circle around with that. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the world today, that this is your takeaway from my story? What would you like to say? And अगर भूल जाओगे तो मेरे पास लिखा है, don't take tension. Diary is here, but go ahead.
Like the way we spoke, I really don't think so that I'm somebody who can give somebody, you know, किसी को मैं बता सकती हूँ. Because I think I'm a learner. अभी मुझे I'm so flawed कि मुझे नहीं लगता मैं किसी को बता सकती हूँ. But yeah, if I've got this opportunity, so I would just want to say that you should never be scared of, you know, being lonely. I think it's just so overrated that हमें कोई ना कोई चाहिए. I'm 35 at the moment. My grandmother really wants me to get married, and what she tells me that 50 के बाद difficult हो जाएगा. अभी तो ठीक है, अभी तो तुम जवान हो. 50 के बाद मैं, and I'm like, माँ मैं अभी से 50 का कैसे सोचूं? You know, I mean my brain doesn't work like that. And I'm not saying that parents आपके लिए ऐसा, वो हमेशा आपको प्यार करते हैं इसलिए आपके लिए वैसे सोचते हैं. लेकिन I just feel that these things are आपको दिमाग में डाल दी जाती हैं. Just आपके दिमाग में इतना कर दिया जाता है कि आप automatically you start feeling weak कि मैं तो अकेले नहीं कर पाऊँगी. And it's not just only about marriage. I mean overall also sometimes people get into relationships because they just want to feel loved or something like that. Even I want to be loved. Who doesn't want to get loved, you know? I think सबको प्यार चाहिए, लेकिन ज़बरदस्ती का प्यार या सिर्फ ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. So one thing that I would just want to say is like, don't be scared of being lonely. It's pretty fine. I mean, सदगुरु कहते हैं अगर आप खुद के साथ खुश नहीं रह सकते तो कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. You know? So this is what I feel. और I think मैंने और क्या बोला था?
That responsibility. Don't worry about it.
Yes. This is what I really want. See, I'm working on this. मैं ऐसा कुछ, I'm not giving ज्ञान and all this. I'm still working on myself. That this is what I'm still learning, that I think it's your responsibility to know yourself. It's so important to know yourself, and it's not anybody else's responsibility कि वो आपको समझे, आपको जाने, और आप इस बात पे नाराज़ हो जाओ तुम तो समझते ही नहीं मुझे. It's so important for, and I'm not talking about relationships, I'm just talking about like sometimes we work on myself, loving yourself. Loving yourself सिर्फ इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि अपने ऊपर पैसा खर्च करके this and that. A lot of people do that. But I think it's so important to know what your heart wants, what kind of a person you are, and जितना आपको ये पता होगा आप कैसे हो, I think this thing will back your decisions, this thing will back your choices in life, and you'll regret less. I'm not saying that you'll never regret. It cannot happen, we are humans. We, you know, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. So but आप कम रिग्रेट करोगे, आप कम परेशान होगे. So मेरे लिए तो I think मैं अभी इसी चीज़ पे काम कर रही हूँ, और मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि खुद को समझना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. आप खुद के साथ खुश रहोगे तो आप शायद वो उसको बांट भी सकोगे. This is what I feel, you know.
And you had also said be vulnerable. This I completely agree with you. Please talk about this. You like be vulnerable.
I think yeah, vulnerable होना ज़रूरी है. मैं right now maybe I'm talking about मैंने उसको ये बोला, या मैंने ऐसा कह दिया, मैंने वैसा कह दिया, but I remember when I'm even confronting, I'm shivering inside because that's not me. I don't like confrontations. I don't like इस तरीके से किससे बात करना मुझे पसंद नहीं है. लेकिन अगर कोई मुझसे करे तो फिर मैं क्या करूँ, you know. So but having said that, I feel that it is also very important to be vulnerable and compassionate and sensitive. Or it's completely your choice. I think you become what your life gives you. Everybody, that's how everybody is different. So मुझे तो मेरी ज़िंदगी से यही समझ आया है कि आपका कुछ हिस्सा ऐसा होना चाहिए कि आपके पास आके शायद कोई हील हो सके. Like, you know, I remember listening to my friends in college and I've seen so much in, you know, since childhood. So मुझे अपनी बच्चों वाली बातें बताती थी, भारती आज ये हो गया. But I just used to listen to her. And she was so close to me. She used to feel that भारती मुझे सुनती है. But मैं सिर्फ सुनती थी, और मैं ऐसा कुछ उसको वो नहीं करती थी कि मतलब कुछ मैंने उसको बता दिया ऐसा. कई बार it's just so important to, like when Kanika spoke to me, I was like, Kanika, see, I'm doing this after a very long time. I'm giving an interview after a very long time, and it's a very heartfelt thing. And I don't know how many people will be interested. So she's like, I'm interested. मैं interested हूँ. आप मुझे बताना. So I was like, okay. So I think, और मैंने अपने लाइफ से ये सीखा है. After Idol, people were very insensitive towards me. Very. They gave me love also, but they were very insensitive. They were like, she was there because of her dad. A lot of people asked me, are your parents actually deaf and mute, or you did this for the show?
Oh my god.
You know, I was like,
that's
no.
not nice.
No, this happened, and a lot of people telling me, see, we have no sympathies for you. When I'm asking for work, मुझे तुमसे कोई sympathy नहीं. मैंने कहा मुझे चाहिए भी नहीं. हाँ. So people are insensitive, and a lot of people, oh, she lacks it. She was just there because of her dad. Before that, also I won competitions, and nobody was aware about my life.
Yeah.
But right now, I think I feel more comfortable. Initially, I never wanted people to look at me in a different way, but now I'm pretty okay with it, because I think I'm okay with myself. So it's okay if people want to see me in any light they want to.
That's their viewpoint. It's
I
not
keep
who
my
you are.
light alive, you know, like
Oh, that's just
on and on.
You're a pleasure to listen to be with. Bharti, I mean, I will personally tell you, one of the best human beings I've met. So thank you so much.
So
Yeah,
much good.
it's just beautiful. And on that note, गायिका है और गाना लगाना, वही तो सब वेट कर रहे थे देर से. Any song? You want water?
हाँ, थोड़ा सा पानी.
Can somebody please give us a little water, please? Thank you.
Being a singer, but I still freak out with the thing. गा दो जरा. I think that's what me. I remember during voice also, one of my teachers said, Bharti, तुम बहुत ज़्यादा, you know, like the nervous wreck. But I'm still working on myself.
Thank you, Parul. Thank you so much. Take your time. Take your time. And any song. Any song.
I was thinking of singing something, but I think I'll sing this song because I think I relate to this song so much. आज रातें ख्वाबों से मुड़ी के जाने मैं कहाँ मिल गई आज आसमां से आ गई मैं जहाँ से ये क्या हुआ ज़मीं पे है या बादल पे ऊंचे सितारे आके आंचल से जी ली उम्र सारी इस पल में कुछ भी नहीं अब मेरे कल में उड़ी नींदें आँखों से जुड़ी रातें ख्वाबों से मुड़ी के जाने मैं कहाँ उड़ी नींदें आँखों से जुड़ी रातें ख्वाबों से मुड़ी के जाने मैं कहाँ उड़ी नींदें आँखों से जुड़ी रातें ख्वाबों से मुड़ी के जाने मैं कहाँ
Teared up. It's like divine something, you know, like, oh my god, lucky, privileged. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.